guys, welcome back. I am continuing with my experimenting with the 3D flowers. So this one's going to be white. I've got one sitting there just there. I left my resin too long on that one. It didn't really work. So I'm going again. I'm cutting 5 minutes off my waiting time. I've got my resin here. It's starting to go warm, which it does after a while. It's been sitting for 25 minutes since I stopped stopped stirring. So I'm using the Barnes Clarity on this one. Nearly out. And I'm going to go with some gold leaf flakes in the middle for my two centers. I'll just get a little bit out. So I'm hoping to start piping at 35 minutes, I guess. It'll take me maybe 10 minutes to get through mixing and chatting and all that kind of stuff. So put that in there. Don't need a lot. I do like the gold flake in there. Oh, you're stuck to my coaster. So a little bit in there. I find that putting it in a wide mouthed container will stop it from setting up as fast. If you've been doing resin a lot, you may have been one of those people who leaves their resin too long and it sets up in the container, starts smoking, which is very bad for you, and it just goes rock hard and you have to throw it all out and start again. So it doesn't tend to do that as fast if you put it in a wider, shallower container. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to measure out. I'm going to put some in here so it starts to cool down a little bit. What will I put in? I'll start with, I'll go 60. 60 in U. These are 13 centimeter coasters. And 60 in U. Just to start cooling everything down. I don't want it to get too hot. It goes off. When it goes off real quick, and there's really nothing you can do. So in my little measuring cup here, actually I want to leave that one till last. I want to leave that in there. Actually I won't be able to because I want to get moving. So this is going to be my white. I've got the Castin Craft white. I've got the alcohol ink in white, and I've also got some Resin in satin white, or white satin. That's a pigment powder. And I thought for the background, instead of just having it clear, let's put a little bit of gold sparkle in. This one's actually called Gold Super Sparkle by Colour Passion. I just go to their website. Right, now I'm going to do 30 grams. 20 won't be quite enough. 40 is probably a bit much, so 30 should be fine. And there we go, 30. And then the rest of it can be divided into these two. A little bit for you, a little bit for you. I won't measure, I'll just guesstimate. When I mix my resin, I do scrape the sides and scrape the bottom and make sure that it's all nicely mixed. I mix it for 4 to 5 minutes. Now I'm just going to wipe off my stick with my paper towel. I will wipe out my container at the end of my video, just with the paper towel. I'll just give it a wipe out with a couple of paper towels. And then it's ready to go tomorrow, or whenever I'm going to pour again. Right, let's get that out of the way. Now with the white, oh my gosh, I was just telling you that I'm going to add the gold sprinkles. Oh God, I'm a duffer. All right, wonder if I can still do it. Can't believe I forgot that. Just so used to doing this because I've never added, oh, look at it flying away everywhere. I've never added the gold into it. I'm just going to do that. And I'll give it a stir and hopefully, oh, can't believe I forgot that. I was just telling you that's what I'm going to do. And then I forgot. All right, let's give it a quick stir. Now I'm wasting time. It's not going to be perfect because I haven't mixed it all in properly. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Mix it as best as I can. You guys were yelling at me, weren't you? Don't forget the gold. And I did. Now I'm wasting time. The 5 minutes that I've saved on starting the video 5 minutes earlier, I'm now wasting 5 minutes stirring in gold glitter. Oh well, another lesson learned. I tell you, I'm on such a big learning curve with all this resin. Learning something every day. I am enjoying it though, but gosh, sometimes it's really frustrating. You know, when it doesn't work. I'll go around the outside like that. That'll help me get my bubbles out anyway. That's something. All right, does that look as if it's stirred in? All right, let's get on to the white. Now, because I've got 30 grams in there, I'm going to do 3 little drops of Castin Craft. I don't know why I'm shaking it. You can't get anything out. It's really thick. I slice the top off the nozzle so that I can get it out more. A little tiny drop, let it come to the edge. Try again. Squeeze, let it come to the top. 1, 2, and then it has a little train that follows behind. So 3 drops. Some people put more in, but I'm just trying with 3. So 1 per 10 grams. 2 drops of the white Pinata alcohol ink. And then a little bit of this white, just a little bit on the end of the tip there, and see how that goes. It's getting quite warm, so I don't want to wait too long. I think that if you at this stage and your resin is still cold, I think, and I'm no expert, I think that you haven't waited long enough. For me, whenever I've done this, the resin has started to warm up, you know, to set up. So it's a bit of a clump of gold there. All right, now I need to give it a quick torch and then we'll start piping. Just be careful not to overheat these cheap sort of white molds. They stick really easily to your resin, and then you can't get them out. Right, let's put a little bit of gold in the center. Not a lot. I probably have made up a little bit too much actually. Well, you feel as if you've got more in you. You're a bit deeper. The other experiment I was doing is putting a little bit more resin in my coaster mold, just to see if I can get like more of a 3D effect. I think if it's too shallow, you get like a flat look. And then if you've got more like depth to it, I think you get more of a 3D look. That's something else I'm experimenting with. Which makes sense, you know, if you've only got a very thin amount of resin in there, you can't really get that 3D look, can you? No, because it hasn't got anywhere to spread. That's my reasoning anyway. And this is another thing I'm testing. All right, let's put the white in there. So that's our pigment paste, our alcohol ink, and our mica powder all going in. And the other thing I'm doing different is I'm making the hole smaller in this one. When I did that coaster, which is just sitting there, I don't know if you can see it. I'll show you later on when I take it down for a close-up. I made the hole bigger. I made a 3mm hole. That feels better. It's not as hot. That one, it got really hot. So making a slightly smaller hole this time. You can always make it bigger. I think when I got my really successful one, okay, there's nothing coming out there. The end is sealed and you do have to snip away at it. But start small. You can always make it bigger. You can't make it smaller, hey? Right, so that's about 2mm hole, as opposed to the one that I did earlier today, which was a 3mm. Make sure you tuck that in. Now, you should be able to hold your bag up like that and it not all like pour out. A little drop might come to the top, but it shouldn't pour out. If it's all pouring out, your resin is A, too thin still and you let it set up, or B, your hole's too big. That's what I'm working on. Right, it's 3 o'clock. It has been 35 minutes. Woohoo! Okay, I'm on track. It's been 35 minutes since I stopped stirring. So let's try this. Now I'm not going to sort of follow the same shape. I'm just going to go around my piping is still quite thick, but I haven't made my hole as big as the last time, so I've got room for another one. I don't like it to touch the side of the coaster because when the resin starts to pull in, I can't do it at the moment, when it starts to pull in it kind of gets stuck there. Right, let's do the other one. I always seem to have more room on one side than the other for some reason. Like this side closest to me, I always end up having to do extra. Get it in as close to that top of the coaster as you can. See this one? I always have to end up putting more down here. I don't know why. Okay, so I've still got some left. So definitely, 30's fine. Let me just wipe my hands, get the heat gun out. I'm going to try and refrain from using too much heat. Just on low. It's got a low and a high. So just on low, go around a little bit. And then from the outside in, push it. Push it good. And the other one, round and round, from the outside in, pushing. I'm going to have to loosen those up because it's touching the side of the coaster mold. It's blowing around a little bit more than the last one did, so it's probably a little bit thinner, but it's probably a good thing. It's so tricky. It really is. Trying to get it just right. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Right, so once it starts blowing around too much, just leave it, turn it off, turn your heat off. Just trying to get this one to be the same as the other one because you don't want to like blow it too much and everything starts moving around too much. Just enough. See this one here starting to break up a little bit and moving around a bit. But it's blooming. There's a hair. Okay, is there anything stuck to the side? See, it's all pulled away already, like really quickly. I hope I'm not getting my head in the camera shot. No, I shouldn't, because the camera is way up there. All right. I wonder how that gold's going to look. Let me get you down. I'm going to take both gloves off because I've been touching my phone with my resiny gloves. Oh my gosh, you don't think about these things, do you? And then I go and sit down with the dogs in front of the TV and I touch my phone and then I get resin on my hands. So much to think about. Right, so these are the two that I did this morning. But let's have a look at these babies first. I do like that little bit of glitter, I must say. Oh, get your fingers out of the way, woman. Okay, let's have a look. I can't really see very well through the screen because I've got my ring light glaring down on it, so you can probably see better than I. So I'm looking to see if there's any blobs falling through. It looks as if it's blooming nicely. Look, it's blooming. And do we like the glitter? I think it just matches the gold in the center. And then I'm going to paint the edges gold as well, if it works. It looks as if it's working, you guys. All right, so less pigment paste, smaller hole, less waiting time. I've written it all down. See, the one that I did, well, not my first one, my first dozen were shockers. They didn't work. But my first one that did work was a bit of a fluke, really, because I just used leftover resin from my coasters. So I didn't time how long, you know, I let it sit. So now I'm experimenting, writing down how long I let it sit. This one I let sit too long. And then this one was the second one. It waited even longer, so it's got lots of blobs. You can actually see them. They've fallen through. You see on the back there? And it hasn't really bloomed. See that petal there? It stayed in its line. It hasn't bloomed. The resin was too thick, so instead of it, like my petals being able to like flow out and get nice and wispy, they couldn't really go anywhere because the resin was too thick, and you know, it just kind of fell through, didn't float across the top. This one's not as bad. I probably can see some little blobbies through there, but hopefully this one will work. Can you guys see the difference between that one and that one? Hope so. Oh gosh, please work. Is that a blob? I'm going to be looking at this every 5 minutes trying to see if there's blobs. All right, I'm sorry, I'm going on and on and on here. I'll come back in 15 minutes or half an hour and we'll see what it's doing, okay? Wish me luck. Please work. See you soon. Righto. About 15 minutes, I guess. And they're looking good. Actually, I'm just going to see if I can change this zoom magnification. There we go. Might be a bit more clear. I don't have to bend down as much. Okay, let's have a look. Do you like that little bit of glitter? It's kind of all come into the center, hasn't it? Which is what resin does. Everything pulls from the outside in. But once this is turned upside down, I think we'll just get a little hint of glitter. Now, can you see any blobs? Let's look at the other one. Can't see any, but doesn't mean they're not there once we've turned it over. So you can see that, just change the magnification again. You can see how the glitter has congregated in the center there. But hopefully it's worked. Those were the other two. Didn't really work as well, but I'll turn them all out tomorrow and we'll have a look. Hopefully these work. These look much betterer. Oh, actually, I can see a blob. I can see a blob. Where is it? I can see little blobs. Oh, look, it doesn't matter. Oh, under there. Look at that. There's a blob. Yes, you are. Oh, well. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Doesn't matter if there's a few. I mean, you're always going to get a little bit of blobbiness where, you know, you overlap. This looks, oh, look, there's some blobs in the ends. All right. No point wondering. I'll just have to wait for tomorrow. See you then. Hey guys, I am going to unmold these, or is it demold? I don't know. Now I've had a look at the back, and yes, it's blobby. Now this coaster isn't really in order because I've done my big blue and white one, where I made my lines thicker using the Dalchem. So I've kind of learnt that this is too thin, this resin. So I think I'm going to stick with the Dalchem. But look, I made the video, so I thought I'd show you anyway, if I can get them out. But I think I will be sticking to the Dalchem resin, just because I've had consistent results with it. With the Barnes one, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but generally it doesn't. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't. Like, a lot of people do like, you know, the blobs on the back, because it does make it look a little bit 3D. So I probably shouldn't say that it doesn't work. So that's the front. And you can see the little bits of gold flickering there in the background. So let's have a look. It's not a very dense, opaque white. It's kind of wispy. So I probably didn't use as much pigment paste as I should, or as thicker lines, but let's have a look. Oh, it's pretty. It is pretty. Look at the layering we've got. I love that gold center, and then just that little sprinkle of gold throughout. It's really pretty, isn't it? Okay, I like that. Like, I wouldn't say it's a fail. That's red ink on me. Red ink. Right, let's have a look at the other one. So very similar, I think. You can see the gold shimmering there on top. Get him out. Throw it over there. I need to unmold these because I want something else to do with them. Alright, let's have a look. Again, very wispy. You can see through to the back that it's quite blobby. So it's not very opaque. Like, you shouldn't be able to see through, I don't think. But it just depends on what you like. You know, you might really like that kind of... Maybe we don't call it blobby. Maybe we just call it like a 3D effect. Like, it's still pretty, isn't it? I don't think it's bad. Look at that. Pretty, pretty. All right, so we've learned from that as well. I think I like this one better. It hasn't got as many blobs on it. Still really pretty. All right, hope you enjoyed that video. And I'll take them outside into the sun so that you can see what they look like in the sunshine. All right, be right back.